Good morning to all. We'll move on to our next question. When concentrated HCl is added to an aqueous solution of a COCl2, it is cobalt here. So it is a small o, cobalt. Its color changes from reddish pink to blue, deep blue color. Which complex ion gives a blue color in this reaction? So we have a reaction. They said that it is cobalt with the aqueous solution of cobalt. Cobalt chloride has been taken and aqueous solution of COCl2 it is. If it is aqueous solution, then the compound will be, the complex we will be having the complex like this. It is with 2 plus. Okay. Now, so we are adding concentrated HCl to it. That means that we are providing Cl minus ions to it. So plus, when you heat the mixture, we are going to get an complex as compound as COCl4 2 minus plus 6H2O. So which is blue in color? Which is blue in color? COCl4 2 minus. Option A is the correct answer. Likewise, we have been given with the one more question there, 74th one. Octahedral complex of a metal ion M3 plus with 4 monodentate ligands L1, L2, L3 and L4 absorb wavelengths in the region of red, green, yellow and blue respectively. The increasing order of ligand strength of the 4 ligand is. So if at all, if a ligand strength is concerned, so we have a formula or we have relation. It is not a formula, it is a relation. So ligand field strength. Ligand field strength is directly proportional to energy of light absorbed, inversely proportional to wavelength of light absorbed. That is, energy and wavelength are inversely related. Okay. So the question, in the question, how they have given, we shall see. So it is, we'll consider Vibgaya. When you move from here to here, wavelength increases. That means that energy decreases. Vibgaya, wavelength increases and energy decreases. We know that the wavelength for visible, it is from 400 to 750 or from 350 to 750 nanometer it is. So from Vibgaya visible region it comes. So wavelength is going to increase, likewise energy is going to decrease. So how it is, blue light is for L4. So first we have a blue over here. So blue is for L4. Likewise green is for L2. Next is green. After blue we have green. So we have red, green, yellow, blue. First we have blue with an lower wavelength, higher energy it is. Next, higher the energy, higher will be the field strength. So likewise, next comes this green. After that we have green. So green, when you compare green and red and yellow. So after green we have red and yellow. Wavelength is increasing, energy is decreasing. As energy decreases, field strength is also decreasing. So that means that first blue comes. Next is green. So after that we have yellow for L3. After that red we have, and red is for L1. So that is as we move from we move in the visible region. So this is the energy increasing order of energy of wavelengths indicates the greater extent of crystal field splitting or the strength of the ligand. So you can also relate this one, crystal field splitting also. If at all, if the field strength is more, then crystal field splitting also will be more. Clear? So the ligands with the maximum crystal field splitting has absorbed a greater amount of energy. I hope it is clear. So we can say that here we have order L4, next is L2, next L3, next L1. I hope it is clear. So option B, it is, so we have written in and reverse order. We have written in and reverse order. We can write in that way also. L4 is more, then comes L2 because they said that it is increasing order. So we are writing increasing order. Next is L3, after that L1. Okay, so option B is the correct answer. So remember this statement, that is ligand field strength is directly proportional to energy of light absorbed or inversely related to wavelength of light absorbed. Next question we'll move on to. Next question. Cobalt 3 chloride. Cobalt 3 chloride forms several octahedral complexes with ammonia. Which of the following will not give test for chloride ions with the silver nitrate? Silver nitrate is AgNO3. So if at all, if our complex gives rise to Cl minus, if our complex gives rise to Cl minus, then that Cl minus will combine with AgNO3 and it forms AgCl. Okay, so this is the test with silver nitrate. It is a precipitate. Next, so whichever compound will be having Cl as the counter ion. If Cl is present as a ligand, it is not going to give, upon ionization, it is not going to give Cl minus. So if at all, if Cl is a counter ion, then it is going to give out, this is going to ionize as Cl minus, and then it will be giving rise to the test for silver nitrate. So this can be written as, the complex A can be written as Cl3 and NH3. 3 times. This is the complex, A complex. Next, B1 will see, it is an octahedral complex. They mentioned it is octahedral, so coordination number should be 6. So everywhere it is cobalt, O should be smaller. There is a printing mistake, okay. So cobalt, in that 4 ammonia is already there. Then only 2 is required. 4 it is already there, only 2 is required. 1 will be outside. Okay, next, so how it dissociates? It dissociates upon dissociation. This compound gives CO, NH3, 4 times Cl2, it is plus Cl minus. This Cl will react with AgNO3. Okay, next, third one we'll see. So option C, that is, so it is cobalt and it is NH3, 5 times it is NH3, only 1 Cl is required. Then it is 2 Cl outside. So this is going to dissociate as, so that will be dissociating as CO, NH3, 5 times Cl, 2 plus 2 Cl minus. So we have counter ion here also, we have counter ion here also. Next, last one, we can write it as, so complex CO, NH3, 6 times and 3 Cl outside, all the 3 Cl outside. So that means that upon dissociation, this complex will give 3 Cl minus. So here also, in the first complex also we have, in the second complex also, first complex also we have Cl as the counter ion. So we have counter ion here. Here also 2 Cl minus, here also 3 Cl minus. That means that here we don't have, so this will not give the test for chloride ions with AgNO3. Option A. Next one, next question, we'll move on to, which of the following complex ions has electrons that are symmetrically filled in both T2G and EG set? So symmetrically filled in the sense they should be equal in number. In all the orbitals it should be equal. Either it may be paired or it may be unpaired, but the filling should be in similar pattern. So if at all, if it has to be done, so you can observe there zinc is there means zinc, or if at all if copper is there means then you can go for 3d10 electronic configuration. At that time, if it is 3d10, then all the orbitals will be completely filled with the 2 electrons each. But in this cases, you can observe we don't have any zinc or copper over here. The other ions are there. So if at all, if symmetrically filled means it should be with single electron only. So one more thing. So symmetrically filled in both T2G set and EG set. We know that. So T2G set is like this. Octahedral complexes they have given. So T2G set will be down and EG set will be above. If at all, if it has to be symmetrically filled means it should be like this. It should be like this, symmetrical. Either it may be paired. Paired in the sense all should be paired, or single means all should be in single only. So this happens only when there is an weak field ligand. If at all, if strong field ligand is there, then what happens? If strong field ligands are there, then so in the higher orbital no electrons, it will be pairing up here only. So pairing up will take place. So at that time the distribution won't be symmetrical. That means that only with the weak field ligand only we are going to get the symmetrical distribution. That means that we have two complexes with weak field ligand, that is A and C. A and C will give rise to weak field ligand. Cn is a strong field ligand. If it is cobalt, NH3 is a strong field ligand there. So option B and option D are with the strong field ligand. So we can write it. So it is strong field ligand. So this is also strong field ligand. So observe the first one, that is option A will check. F minus, that is weak field ligand we have, or we can say that it is a high spin complex. So F is in, so Fe is in, that is iron is in 3 plus state. Iron is in 3 plus state. If it is 3 plus state, then its electronic configuration is 3d5. If it is 3d5, how the electron will fill? The electron will fill in this manner itself. So this is T2G and this is EG set. One is T2G set and another one is the EG set. So how we can write the configuration? We can write the configuration as, so T2G 3 electrons and EG 2 electrons, symmetrically filled. If you consider this one, this is cobalt here. Cobalt with the 3 plus. So if at all, if it is 3 plus, then it is 3d6. Cobalt with 3 plus is nothing but 3d6. 3d6 means 5 first it will be filled like this. 6th one will come here. So that means that one orbital is with 2 electrons and the remaining all with 4. So we can write the electronic configuration as T2G4 and EG2. First of all, this is not symmetrical. Okay. So that means that option A is the correct answer. Option A is the correct answer, which is giving rise to not this electron, which is giving rise to only 5 electrons, and all the 5 are singly filled in all the orbitals. Next question, magnetic moment of 1.73 Bohr magneton will be shown by one among the following. So we need to find out the magnetic moment which is going to. So magnetic moment, if at all, if it is 1.73 Bohr magneton is there, that is the mu value, if it is there, then 1.73 is nothing but it is root 3 is 1.73. Okay, so root 3 is 1.73. That means that n value should be 1. So we know that mu is equals to square root of n plus 2. 1 if you substitute, then it becomes 3. 3 into 1 is 3 into 1 is 3 again. So because of which we are going to get the value is 1.73. So n value should be 1 here. So check for the complex in which unpaired electron. So unpaired electron is 1. So we'll consider the first one. Copper will take first one. So copper is in which state? It is in plus 2 state. Copper is in plus 2 state. Electronic configuration is 3d10 4s1. So if you remove 2 electrons there, then it is 3d9 it becomes. So unpaired electron is 1 over here. I hope it is clear. So strong field or weak field, there is no problem. NH3 is not it is even if it is strong field or weak field also, we are not going to bother because unpaired electron is 1. We need only that much. Okay. Next, so the electron is going to shift from 3d level to 4s level there. So 4p level there. So we need not to worry about that one. We need only unpaired electrons. Nickel will consider. So if at all, if it is a nickel case, then nickel is in plus 2 state. Nickel is in +2 state, so that is 3d8 it is. If it is 3d8, so we can observe Cn is a strong field ligand. It is a strong field ligand. Here, even if you consider strong field or weak field, there is no possibility of pairing there, because already all the 4 orbitals are completely filled. The 4 orbitals, whatever is there, all the 4 orbitals are fully filled. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It is completely filled. This is 9th one is present here. So there is no option of shifting at all there. Okay. So that's why N is equals to 1. Even though NH3 we are going to consider also. So one unpaired electron will be there, which is going to shift to the higher energy orbital. When you consider nickel, so Ni2 plus, we have 3d8. So if it is 3d8, since it is strong field ligand, so the electrons will be filled until here. So 2, 4, 6, 8, until here it will be filled. So this is left empty there. So that's why it is completely filled. So unpaired electron is 0 in this case. Next one. So TiCl4. So titanium. So titanium, it is +4. Titanium in +4 state. So titanium, if it is +4 means it is 3d0. So we don't have d electrons only. So that means that it is 0. N is equals to 0. So cobalt, if you consider cobalt in +2 state. So cobalt in +2 state means it is 27 atomic number, 3d7 outer electronic configuration. So 3d7, if you consider 7 electrons has to be filled. So if 7 electrons will be filled, then N is equals to 3. We have 3 unpaired electrons we are going to get. 7 electrons will fill it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 it is. So 3 unpaired. It is a strong field, it is a weak field ligand. So no pairing will take place. So N is equals to 3 for this one. N is equals to 3 for the cobalt. Only one complex which has N is equals to 1. We require N is equals to 1 because magnetic moment is 1.73 for N is equals to 1. So option A, copper. So that is the correct answer. So next complex we have. So decacarbonyl. It is decacarbonyl. So we have spelling mistake over here. Decacarbonyl dimanganese 0. It is the complex structure is given there. So is made up of 2 square pyramidal MnCO5 units. Yes, it is a square pyramidal with coordination number 5. It is square pyramidal complex. It is being combined. These units are joined by MnO-Mn bond. Its the structure is. So the structure has been given here. Observe properly. So it is decacarbonyl dimanganese. Decacarbonyl dimanganese complex it is. So all the 3 facts are correct. So that is option D. All the 3 facts are correct. Next one. So consider the following statement. If delta O is less than P, if delta O is less than P, low spin state is more stable. CO is a very weak ligand. Tetrahedral complexes exhibit nearly 50% CFSE value than octahedral complex. So the color of the complex depend upon the nature of metal. So we need to check now which incorrect statements. The incorrect statements we need to identify. Delta O is greater than. Delta O is less than P. Delta O is less. It is for weak field ligand. So if it is an weak field ligand, then pairing doesn't take place. Then spin will be high. Pairing doesn't take place, the spin of the electrons will be high, because pairing won't take place means the spin of the electron won't cancel. Plus half, minus half. For pairing, for paired electrons, plus half cancels with the minus half. If pairing are not there, or if unpaired electrons are more, then plus half, plus half, plus half, it is going to increase or it is going to add. So that's why we call it as high spin complex. That means that the statement is a wrong statement. CO is a very weak field ligand. This is also wrong. It is a very strong field ligand. Then tetrahedral complexes exhibit nearly 50% CFSE value than octahedral. Yes, of course, it is nearly, not exactly. It is nearly 50%. It is because we have 6 ligands in octahedral complex. In octahedral complex, 6 ligands are there. In tetrahedral complex, it is 4 ligands. So half of this one is 3 ligand. So it is almost about a half of that we are going to consider. So how much if at all, if metal is there, how much the ligand will be showing the field. So spherical field, we say that the ligands electrons, the electrons in the ligand will be showing an spherical field around the metal. So how much field it shows? Less than that one will be shown by the tetrahedral. It is because the number of ligands are less. Ligands are less, electron pairs are less, because of which the spherical field, the spherical negative field of the ligand is also going to decrease. It is about nearly 50%. The difference you can make out. It is 6, it is 4. Half of this one should be 3 here, then we can write it as 50%. So it is 4 ligands are present. That means that it is nearly equal. So statement 3 is correct. Then color of the complex depends on the nature of metal ion. The color on the complex is dependent not on the metal ion. It is dependent on the DD transition. Or we can, in another word, we can say that it is dependent on number of unpaired electron in the lower energy orbital. Number of unpaired electron in lower energy orbital. Lower energy orbital, d orbital. Lower energy d orbital it is. Okay. That means that first one is wrong, second one is wrong, fourth one is wrong. So option C is the correct answer. Those 3 statements are wrong. Next complex we have. So it is FeNO2 thrice Cl3 and FeONO thrice it is Cl3. So here you can observe. So in this second complex, iron is ligated with oxygen. So that is, oxygen is donating a pair to the iron here. But in the first case, iron is being ligated through nitrogen. Nitrogen is ligating there. So same thing, NO2 group, here also NO2 group. NO2 group, here also it is NO2 only, but the ligating atoms are different. In the first case, the ligating atom is nitrogen. In the second case, the ligating atom is oxygen. So we can say that they are linkage isomerism. It is a linkage isomerism, and the ligands are called as ambidentate ligands. It is a monodentate ligand, but it can have more than one donor sites. So those are called as ambident ligand. Next question. Consider the following reaction and statements. We have a reaction over here. So 2 isomers, we have what options are there. 2 isomers are produced if the reactant complex ion is cis. 2 isomers are produced if the reactant complex ion is a trans, and 1 isomer is produced if the reactant complex is trans. So we need to consider the reactant complex, and we need to write the isomers for the reactant, and then we need to compare the product over here. So in the reactant, we have CONH3 4 times Br2, 4 NH3 molecule and 2 Br. What we are doing in the reaction is we are adding 1 Br minus and we are removing 1 NH3. 1 NH3 is removed and 1 Br is added. Okay. So we can write the reactant molecules of 4 NH3 and 2 Br. So that can be written in 2 different forms. You can observe over here. So it is Br adjacent to one another. It is cis. Br opposite to one another. It is trans. We are doing the reaction now. For this we are doing the reaction. We are removing 1 NH3. We are adding 1 Br. So we'll remove 1 NH3 from here. We are going to remove 1 NH3 from here. So cobalt, it is, we have, so either any NH3, either this one or this one, any NH3 we can remove. So we'll write it for Br. It is Br, it is also Br, and we removed this NH3 and we substituted Br there. The remaining NH3, remaining 3 NH3 as it is. So this is one compound. This is one compound. Now in the second complex we can remove this NH3 also. So how it will be, we shall see. So this is NH3 as it is, and just a minute, this is NH3 as it is, this NH3 also as it is, only this NH3 we are going to substitute with Br there. Br, and it is Br, it is also Br. So we can do it for any NH3 groups, but we are going to get two different isomers we need. So this one, if you check, this one is a facial. The isomer is a FAC isomer or facial it is. Okay. If you check this one, this is crossing, this is cutting down the metal and it is moving. That is nothing but it is what we can combine like this. This is meridional isomer. So cis isomer is giving rise to, after the reaction it is giving rise to two different isomers. One is FAC isomer and another one is meridional isomer. So now we'll see trans isomer, how the reaction takes place. For the trans isomer, NH3 we are removing and Br minus we are adding. Okay. So we are going to get the complex. So CO3 plus, it is cobalt, 6 bonds it is. So one of the NH3 you need to remove, and we need to write the FAC isomer or cis isomer. One of the NH3 you remove and you substitute Br. Okay. So if at all, if it is Br, it is Br as it is. It is also Br as it is. So NH3 is there. This is also NH3 is there. This one I am writing it as Br, and this one NH3 as it is. So only replacing one of the NH3 and substituting their Br, because our reaction is only that much. NH3 we are going to remove and we are adding the Br there. So if you check in this, complex, you can observe only one form. However you do it, you'll get only this form. That is only meridional isomer you are going to get. So if at all, if reactant is in cis form, then you'll get two isomers. If the reactant is in trans form, then you'll get only one isomer. So that is the thing. So observe now. So two isomers are produced if the reactant complex ion is cis. That statement is correct. Two isomers are produced if the complex reactant complex is trans. This is false. The statement is false. Next one. So only one isomer is produced if the reactant is a trans. This is also correct. This is also correct. Only one isomer is produced if the reactant complex is a cis isomer. This is also false. That means that option D, 1 and 3 are correct. Okay. Next one. So that is the oxidation state of chromium. You need to identify the oxidation state of the chromium it is. So chromium first complex, if you check, it is the neutral ligand. It is -3. That means that it is +3. So then chromium also should be +3. In the first complex, it is +3. Observe properly. It is -3 complex, on the complex +3 is the charge. This is the charge of the metal atom because it is a neutral ligand. So it is +3 over there. So second complex we shall see. It is benzene. So neutral ligand, no charge also. This is neutral ligand also. That means that oxidation state for the second complex is 0. Likewise, the third one we'll see. Third one, it is many ligands are there. We'll calculate. So it is +2 for potassium. Chromium we are checking. It is +X. +2. Cn is nothing but it is -1. Plus oxygen it is O it is. So there is a difference. O2 outside and O2 it is. So both are different there. So how many oxygens it is? So two oxygen, each one is with a -2 as the charge. And for this one, it is only one O2, it is -2 as the charge. So here also on each oxygen there is a -2 and two oxygens we have. Here only one molecule, it is O2 molecule, and that one molecule has -2 charge. Okay, next this is the neutral ligand, that is equals to 0. So X you calculate, it is a minus 2 over here. So that is -2 minus 2. So just a minute, it is not -2 here, it is -1. On each oxygen -1 and 2 oxygens we have here, it is O minus it is, and 2 oxygens are there, so -1 and 2. So we are going to get the answer as a +4. The fourth one is +4. Option B is the correct answer. Next one. So next question is how many isomers are possible? So we have a square planar isomer. So we can say that it is of type MABCD. MABCD, square planar complex, and all the 4 are unidentate or monodentate ligand, that is MABCD type. So if you check ABCD type, so which are the combinations possible are ABCD is possible. This is one. Second one is AC, BD is possible. And the third one is AD, BC is possible. So this is what giving rise to geometrical isomers. All the combinations are different. In that also the ligands are also different. So that's why geometrical isomers. Number of geometrical isomers are 3 here. Okay. I hope it is clear. Now, so we can observe a NO2 group as well as SCN group. NO2 minus, SCN minus. These two are ambidentate ligand. Ambidentate ligand. Each one will give rise to each one will give rise to two different structures. With NO2 one, and another structure will be with ONO. That is linkage isomerism. So this also will be giving rise to two different isomers. So it can ligate through sulfur, it can ligate through nitrogen also. So two isomers are here. So 3 total number in that. So each one will be with the 4 isomers we have here. 4 isomers in all the 3 structures. If it is a varying, then total will be 12 isomers. Total will give rise to 12 isomers, because so each one ligand, if one ligand is there, if one ambidentate ligand is there, one ambidentate ligand if it is present, then so 3 into 2 it is equals to 6. We have how many? We have 2. That means that 3 into 4 is equals to 12. So how it is, so this 2 we have. So this one isomer will be exhibiting 3 different geometrical isomers. This one isomer will exhibit 3 different geometrical isomers. Likewise, this one will be 3 and this one will be 3. Okay. So that is, suppose if it is ONO is there and this is NO2 is there. With ONO, 3 different geometrical isomer. NO2, 3 different geometrical isomer. So here SCN with 3 and the other one with 3. So likewise, we have 12 geometrical isomers. Option A is the correct answer. The magnetic moment of an octahedral complex Mn2 plus complex is. The suitable ligand for this complex is. So Mn2 plus is there. So if it is Mn2 plus, the outer electronic configuration will be 3d5. So what a mu value it is given, it is 5.9 Bohr magneton. It is 5.9 Bohr magneton. That means that N value should be 5. If N value is 5, that is nothing but unpaired electrons should be 5. If unpaired electrons are 5, then magnetic moment will be 5.9. So 3d5 is there. If at all, if weak field ligand is there, then that weak field ligand won't allow the electrons to pair up. So the weaker field ligand we need to consider. If you check in this, so CO is the strong field ligand. After that we have Cn minus, then comes ethylene diamine, then it is NCS minus. So this is the weaker field ligand which doesn't allow the electrons of 3d5 to pair up, because of which all the 5 will be unpaired electrons only, and unpaired electrons, 5 unpaired electrons will give rise to 5.9 Bohr magneton. Next one, we have a complex given. It is an organometallic complex. So is an organometallic complex due to the presence of. So in this organometallic complex itself indicates that, so organo is nothing but carbon, metallic is metal. So there is a bond between the metal and the carbon. Then only it is called as organometallic carbon. So we have, so MnC bond, if at all MnC bond, if it is present, then it is called as, if that bond is there, then only it is called as organometallic. Both are same, anyone you can. So next one, 87th, the pair of metal ions that can give a spin only magnetic moment as 3.9. So if you consider the 3.9 Bohr magneton, 3.9 Bohr magneton gives rise to, it will be with n is equals to 3. If number of unpaired electrons, if it is 3, so mu will be, it is, so 3 of 4, 3 4s are 12, square root of 12. It is almost giving rise to 3.9 Bohr magneton. No, I'm sorry. So it is what n of n plus 2 it is, then it is 16, it becomes 8. So that is what n is equals to 3 it is. It is 5, 5 3s are 15. 15 and root 15 is 3.9. So where n is equals to 3 over here. The pair of metal ions which gave the spin. So that means that, so whichever pair is with the number of unpaired electrons, if it is 3, then that will be giving rise to same spin only magnetic moment. So we shall check for the first one, that is chromium and manganese. So chromium complex, it is, you can observe all are weak field only. H2O, all the complexes are with H2O 6 times only. That means that it is a weak field. Only it is dependent on the electronic configuration. So no pairing takes place. Chromium 2 plus, chromium 2 plus 3d4. That means that n is equals to 4. So Mn2 plus 3d5 it is. 3d5, n is equals to 5. So vanadium 2 plus, if at all, if it is vanadium 2 plus 3d3, then n is equals to 3. Cobalt 2 plus, it is 3d7. If it is 3d7, the electrons, how it is going to fill, we shall see. 7 means it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Until here we know 3d5 is 5 unpaired electrons. 4 is until 4. 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. 5 over 6, 7. How many unpaired electrons left? N is equals to 3. Here also 3, here also 3. And this is also we require as n is equals to 3. Option B is the correct answer. So we can go for this one also. So vanadium 2 plus, already we have done, n is equals to 3. Fe2 plus, if it is Fe2 plus, it is 3d6. 3d6 means only one electron here. Remaining 4 electrons will be unpaired. N is equals to 4. So we have already seen Fe2 plus is n is equals to 4 for this one, and n is equals to 3 for this one. So equal is for option B. Next one, consider the compound. Consider the compound. So it is 2 complexes are given. Then which of the following is incorrect? We need to identify the incorrect complex. So what we have, if at all an A is concerned. So we have been given with H2O and CH3, NH3 and Cl. It is violet in color. So they said that crystal field splitting of A is more when compared to crystal field splitting of B. Next one, the crystal field splitting of parameter will be measured by wavelength of complementary colors A and B. That is also true. So for complementary colors only we are going to consider. We are going to measure the wavelengths. Then both are paramagnetic with 3 unpaired electrons each. So chromium 3 plus, chromium 3 plus if you consider. So it is chromium 3 plus. Chromium 3 plus, it is a weak field, it is also a weak field. Chromium 3 plus, it is 3d3 it is. So here also chromium in plus 3 state only, here also it is 3 unpaired electrons only, 3 unpaired electrons, then the statement is correct. Next, last statement. So the crystal field splitting parameter will be measured by wavelength of yellow and violet colors of A and B. So the crystal field splitting parameter is nothing but delta O. It is nothing but it is delta O. So that delta O is dependent on spectrochemical series. It is not on the wavelengths there. Spectrochemical series. That is if the ligand is a strong field ligand, then delta O will be more. That is what spectrochemical series indicates. Strong field ligand and weak field ligand or field strength. If a field strength is more, then delta O will be more. So it is not by the energies of the wavelengths here. I hope it is clear. So option D is the wrong statement. Option A is lambda O of A is greater than lambda O of B. That is if energy of, so we can write it Vibgayar again. When you consider violet and one more is yellow, violet and yellow if you consider. So the violet one or yellow one we can go ahead with. But the thing is, so instead of this one, just now we have discussed it is a spectrochemical series. So the stronger field, or if at all if you consider this is the borderline ligand. So this is the field strength of this one will be more. If field strength is more, then delta O value also will be more. Field strength is less, delta O value also will be less. Next one. So what is the coordination number of thorium in K4THC2O4? C2O4 is nothing but oxalate ion, and it is OH twice. So we need to find out the coordination number here. C2O4 is a bidentate ligand. It is 2 minus. So that is bidentate ligand it is. Bidentate ligand. How many ligands we have? 4 ligands. So 4 coordination number we are considering. 4 oxalate and each one is with each one is forming bidentate ligand, means each one is forming 2 bonds. Okay. Next, it is a monodentate ligand, and how many ligands we have? Only 2 ligands. So monodentate, it is forming 1 bond. 4 ligands, 2 bonds. Each one is forming 2 bonds. This is a monodentate, only 2 ligands are there. So that's fine. 4 to the 8, 8 plus 2 is 10. So the coordination number for this complex is 10. D is D10 it is. Next one. How many bridging carbonyl and number of CO bond in the complex it is there. So we need to write the complex structure here. We'll try to write it. So it is cobalt bonded to cobalt here. Okay. Next, carbonyl groups we need. So we'll write that carbonyl groups also. Carbonyl, here also carbonyl, 2 common carbonyl groups, here also carbonyl, here also carbonyl, here also carbonyl. So the same thing you can write it as this is cobalt is bonded to cobalt. We can write the carbonyl bond, carbonyl here, and we can write the carbonyl here. Like this also we can write it, and the remaining as it is. Three other carbonyls, three other carbonyls, three other carbonyls. Two common carbonyls are present, and this is the bond between cobalt and cobalt. So the question is, how many bridging carbonyl groups are there? Bridging carbonyls are this one, between two cobalt. So this is bridging carbonyl, that is two bonds are there. So this is one bond and this is another, two bonds. And number of cobalt-cobalt bond, number of cobalt-cobalt bond is only one. So that is 2 and 1, 2 and 1 it is. I hope it is clear. Next, last question we have. So that is which compound has a maximum CFSE value? So the maximum stronger the ligand. If the ligand is stronger the ligand, more is the CFSE. You need to check for the stronger ligand. You can observe it is weak, it is also weak, it is weak, it is weak, it is also weak, and it is also weak. It is the stronger ligand. So stronger the ligand. So field strength is important. If field strength is more, then crystal field splitting is also more. So stronger the ligand, more is the CFSE value, or more will be the crystal field splitting. Thank you.